Today. So, Daffodils or I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. So in the picture you can see daffodil picture. It is a little bit yellow color. Let us at first have idea of William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth, the poet who lived quite some time ago, and he was in England. Uh, so 70, 85, English poet, romantic poet. So this romantic poet does not mean that he was very familiar to love song. No, not like this. It is romanticism. It is a genre or movement. It is focusing on in English literature that romantic poets uh, really love to write on nature, and to them nature is not just like something that is pretty, something the experience nature, the wrote about their experience of nature in very personal and intuitive way. There was almost something spiritual and straightforward sense of going to church, following the official religion, but rather there is something deep and personal. So you can differentiate the institutional religion versus spiritualism. These are different, and these are the personal or intuitive expression, and it is imagination. So William Wordsworth was interested in these things, across the painting, across music, or really famous painting there are that also have the connection with romantic movement. You can see a picture here. So romantic movement has very strong and dominant idea in the romantic period of literature. The picture Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog, Caspar David Friedrich, 1818, he drew this picture. So literature, art, philosophy, both involved in the movement. Let us go to the poem. What defined in the poem? William Wordsworth. So I am going to this reading this poem. There are some themes, literary devices, and these have very connection of expressing the meaning. So golden daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Look, who is the person, our speaker? I. So we have found a person, speaker I. So this I, main character here, and he tells us that he was wandering around, walking, and he was wandering around lonely as a cloud over the valleys and hills. So valleys means valley. You have the idea of valley. You can see in the picture, this is valley. So floating high. So person is comparing himself to this cloud floating around. And then all at once when I saw a crowd of golden daffodils. So golden, you can see the picture is yellow, but a golden has different meaning. The color of gold, or it is very precious. Gold, of gold. Gold means high, of high price. Beside the lake, beneath the trees. So there are some words that have very lively meaning, like host. Host means who respect guest. Fluttering and dancing. So fluttering and dancing, these are words that living beings do. Breeze means, though you setting, they look at the setting, that breeze, it's very comforting. So in this stanza we found the image of wandering while coming and having humane company of these golden daffodils. Then the second stanza continues as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. So it is continuous. So now with this continuous way, the speaker is going to stars in the sky, the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. And not only in the stars, he is going to our galaxy. Our galaxy is Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line. So it is, he is making comparison, simile. Never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw at a glance. So he has hyperboled this hyperbole, 10,000 tossing their heads in sprightly dance. So tossing, sprightly dance, this is personification. But this means that these flowers are living beings and interacting with the listener, speaker. In the third stanza, the waves beside them danced, but they outdid sparkling waves in glee. So now going to waves. Beside them danced. So this wave, so there we can have two types of waves, you can say. Waves of the bay, waves of the daffodil bay. Two types of bay, as it is limitless. Outdid the sparkling waves in glee. So it makes so much pleasure that it outdid the sparkling waves in glee. This pleasure was very high volume. A poet could not but in be. So it was so high that the poet, the speaker became at that level happy. In such a jocund company, I gazed and gazed. So this gaze means meditative. So it was so, the speaker was so attracted, amazed, that he gazed and gazed. So So gaze means to look at for a long time. So he is using this term uh, for a double word, gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. So he was gazing, his brain was not in the high thought, and he called it wealth, it is great wealth. The fourth stanza, so why it is wealth? Now he is explaining for or because often when on my couch I lie. So when he lies or take rest lonely in vacant or pensive mood. So vacant means without any thinking, or pensive means with very high thinking. So vacant or pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye. So inward eye means spiritual or inner world, not the outer world, which is the bliss of solitude. So here the bliss of solitude is important. Solitude has a positive meaning. Solitude does not mean that he is separated from others. Solitude means he is enjoying this loneliness, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dance with golden daffodils. So the daffodils dances with this golden daffodils. So this is the summary of the poem. There are four stanza. The summary means he went to the hills like cloud, met golden daffodils, and he compared what is the reason behind this, that he got pleasure. Now I shall talk on some themes of the poem. So you know that it is a romantic poem. So romantic poems main focus on some important points like nature. So nature is vibrant, beautiful nature, and there is second one is solitude or loneliness. So loneliness, you might be wondering what is the difference between the two words. Solitude has more positive connotation and it is normally used to describe people who enjoy being alone, whereas loneliness is usually used to describe when it do not feel very happy. So you should tell solitude and explore the experience. Enjoy being alone. He enjoy the spiritual space or being alone to enjoy the nature and be with his own imagination. So later comes the point imagination. So imagination means he you know that the biography literaria, so lyrical ballads, he said what is poetry? Poetry is spontaneous overflow. So there must be some imagination. That imagination take the poet, the speaker to that is romantic, that is as personal imagination, that is wild. Wild means he would think something that is beyond common or general thinking. So if I tell about some literary devices or figure of speech in the poem, so we can find imagery, personification, simile, and hyperbole. Among them, three things are very dominant and important. So let us talk about personification. It is most striking thing about this poem. So the poet's personification of the daffodils. So he describes these flowers and he describes them as if they are people, they are human beings. So there are some words you can find that crowd, host, tossing, fluttering. So these words, jocund company, so these words have the meaning that a living being can do. So this is making daffodils as human beings, a person that can interact with the poet. So this is the expression of personification. So the things, imagery. So there are images. When we read these poems, cloud, host of daffodils, fluttering, dancing, continuous stars, shining, galaxy. So when we utter these words, images come to our mind. So these are called imagery, very vivid of nature. So this comparison and imagery to the and also simile, comparing with very metaphysical or cosmic entity, this make the theme is vast on. So let us go to the structure or rhyme scheme of the poem. It is rhyming scheme of A, B, C, C. So every stanza ends with rhyming couplet, and it is really poetic and beautiful. It gives a certain closure to each stanza, and particularly in the last sentence when he says, then my heart with daffodils, my heart with pleasure fills. So the rhyming scheme AB and couplet. So every stanza has these things, and it is so this structure gives a balance, or a it is called composure, or very rhythmic silence, or rhythmic going forward. This creates a very symphony in our mind. This rhythm of similar and some word dictions. So these styles and also the imagery, figure of speech has romantic and which is called very grand idea of the speaker, and in this way he creates the he creates a romantic environment in the reader's mind. So the question can come in your examination, that what do you understand the romantic elements of the poem, or what is the think of solitude and importance of solitude you would find. So I hope you would be able to answer them. Let us end the class, and if you have any question you can comment here. Thank you so much.